What's up, everybody? Mace here, Dan Korrey here, together for our second segment that we've ever done. We're doing a segment on networking and connecting today. I'm with the man himself, the networking and connecting king. I'm like the younger version, networking, connecting prince to this episode.
That much younger.
So I'm excited about today and excited to have you guys back joining us. DK, I want to ask you a couple things about networking and connecting, and let's take it away, brother. So let's dive into what is the most important things when it comes to networking and connecting in the business world that you have learned and experienced.
Well, I'm going to give you one thing.
Love it.
Today.
Love it.
One thing that I put some thought into this, and really, I just kind of had to look back, and sometimes you're doing things and you don't even realize you're doing them. And then you have to kind of become aware of what those things are. And so I guess, of course I said one thing and then, man, give me more than one, right? But so let's say two things, because another one just kind of came to me that I think is really important, especially now, especially nowadays. Just having an overall level of awareness, just being aware of what you're doing, what everyone else is doing, how other people are feeling, how you're feeling, why you're feeling that way, and being able to kind of take a step back and really objectively look at circumstances and look at things with a just higher level of awareness. And that awareness is going to either, lack of it is going to cause a lot of problems and turmoil in your life. And even hyper awareness, which you could argue that I might be sometimes, can cause you a lot of stress and anxiousness as well. And managing that awareness is important, but I think a lot of people could use quite a bit more and a higher level of awareness, situational awareness, just overall self-awareness. But that's not really, I just kind of wanted to add that because I think it's important.
I love that.
The main number one thing that I look back over throughout the course of my lifetime or career, one thing I've always really tried to do, and I think I've done it, is I take a meeting with everyone or anyone almost any time. I don't turn down a meeting. If somebody reaches out to me online and says, hey, I just wanted to connect with you, or I just wanted to reach out to you, or I wanted to get your advice or whatever, I always take the meeting.
Same. 100%.
Now, of course, there may come a time where you're just real busy and have a lot of priorities and a lot of things to do. And even in those times, I often take the meetings. There'll be a time where maybe you just can't at that time or whatever, but most people can. And the reality of it is you just never know. It's not about, I think what happens is somebody goes, oh, this person wants to meet, and they think, why? And they start thinking, well, what can they do for me?
I think it's transactional.
Right? They think, what can they do for me? And is it yes or no, or can they or can't they? And then they decide if it's worth their time. And I think the better question is, what is it that I can do for them? Ever think of that? And so if you think about it that way, and you meet them and you listen to kind of what it is that you should be flattered that they even reached out.
100%.
Right? And I think we should take that into consideration and appreciate that and sit down and meet with them. Now, here's the thing. I mean, I've taken so many meetings that you could argue amount to nothing, right? Nothing tangible or financial. I'm not saying that. I'm saying somebody could make that observation. However, let's say you are trying to get into business with somebody, or simply do business with somebody, or a transaction or whatever, someone you don't know. And that person is just going through their day and runs into someone else that you do know. And that person they ran into, you happen to take a meeting with or offer some guidance to, or just listen to them. Just listen to them and help them in some way you might not even have realized. And so the person you are trying to do business with, or maybe have a transaction with, mentions it to the other person.
Yep.
And then that person goes, oh yeah, he's a great guy, or he helped me out, or whatever. Or yeah, I know him. I know him, and they go, well, what do you think of him, or whatever. And hopefully there's something positive to say, and that actually helps establish that credibility with that person you didn't know. And so now those mutual relationships or associations start to establish additional underlying credibility, where, not to suggest it wasn't there before, but it just hasn't been built yet.
Right.
And so it's a way of building rapport that can compound. And so when you take social media, right? And what's the beauty of social media from a networking or a business standpoint? It's that you have the ability to establish rapport with thousands, or if not millions of people all at the same time.
Yep.
Right? And that's the compound effect of it.
Yep.
And so I've not, by any measure, a master at social media, but I've done that same thing throughout the course of my life with all the people that I've known.
Yeah, real life.
As long as I can
100%.
remember in real life, yeah. And so
100%.
I know thousands of people and have tons of contacts in my phone that I can call, or if I don't know them, I'll get to them. I'll find a way to get to anyone. Because one or two jumps from any one person is, what, 1 million people or something crazy like that. I don't know the exact figure, but there's probably a statistic even that would tell you, if you just said, take one person that I know and one person that they know, and then see how many people that is, oh my gosh, that's a lot of people.
Right.
And so it comes back, and it's like, you just don't know, and you never really know. And so don't place all the value simply on that 1 hour you spent with that one guy who reached out to you because they needed help on something, and act like, I didn't get anything out of that. Well, maybe not today, if that's the way you think. And I don't necessarily think that way even at those times. I know better. But take every meeting you can. Bro, take every meeting with everyone or anyone that asks, and be grateful they're asking.
Bro, I have you're talking about this, and I literally have chills on me right now, because I was at an event in Las Vegas, and we talked about a lot of advice that they were giving is discipline, consistency, etc. But something that a lot of the big sharks of our country, now looking back at their lives, mention is that the things throughout the journey that don't make financial sense at the time have the biggest impact on your life and career when you look back.
It does, yeah. It's hard to believe that sometimes.
Is.
It's hard to commit to that sometimes when you're conscious of it.
Yep.
When you're not, it's a little bit easier. When you're younger and you're not fully aware and conscious of it. But when you are, and you're doing that, and it's not necessarily turning revenue at that time, it's hard to really settle into that and trust it. But we know it's true.
100%. And that goes back to being a good person. Yeah. And spreading good and giving, because you never know how much you can affect somebody. Yeah. And when you affect,
that's so true.
It's like that power that you have to be able to affect somebody in a positive way is one of the few superpowers that you get in this life.
You're right.
And when it comes to business, networking, connecting, for me, it's always come really natural and easy, because the reality is I do business with people that I like and love. And it's more of connecting than it is networking. Networking, it summarizes it, right?
Sure.
But for me, it's
well, there's a difference between the two.
It is, man.
Right? Connecting with them is a little.
It's easy. It's easy, and it makes it. It's not a task. It comes natural. You end up surrounding yourself with a bunch of people that are good people who are also givers and spreading good. And next thing you know, a bunch of good people's spheres all aligned together. Like you said, 2 people. How many people do you know? And that to me is the secret ingredient. It's literally. Do good for people. Yeah. Do good. Don't be too good to take a meeting, right? And it's easy to say, I have 3 kids, a wife who has her own career, is as busy as I am, right? Sure. So it's not always easy to do. But when you do that, it's the most gratifying thing we can do.
It is.
What we do for money is a byproduct of it's not like, yeah, we like doing that. I like doing mortgages. I like helping people, right? As far as getting to homes, but the connecting end of it, it's not about even what we do for money. It's about life, dude. It
absolutely.
Is. So
no, it sure is. It sure is. It's important. It's really a building block of everything.
It is.
Right? I mean, you can't do business without
not only your business relationships, your personal relationships. Let's just be real. And they're basically the same thing.
Well, it's interesting you said that, because I was actually literally just about to say the exact same thing. And I made a video about this the other day, and I was talking to a few of my friends. And it's like, people always say, keep your business and your personal life separate, and friends and business and blah 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 and whatever. And it's like, it sounds good, right? And we people like to say it, but it's a bunch of bullshit.
It is.
It's not true, because I don't want to do business with people that I don't like. I mean, sometimes there are times you have to compromise, and there's certain things that are relevant and matter and don't. You got to pick your battles, and you've got to be realistic. But in a general sense, do we really want to consistently be engaging with people that we don't feel are adding any value to our lives? And on the flip side of that, it's like, you want to build a bunch of friendships and relationships with people you can never do any business with. That's sad. That's sad. And to me, it's a sad thing to have great friends and not be able to do business with them, because there is no better or more gratifying thing than being able to win together.
100%.
And know that you're having that impact in someone else's life, and they're having it on yours, and it's mutually beneficial. And sometimes it's hard to balance that scale, but time balances that scale. Yep. And I'd never be upset that I had to feel like I did more than this guy to help him get ahead than that guy did for me. It's like, who cares? It's a win both ways, because would you rather feel indebted? Right? And not to suggest that it's always a debt.
No, for sure.
In fact, I'm suggesting quite the opposite, because both are wins. And if both look at it that way, then both are winning.
I love talking with you. I love talking with you, DK. I appreciate you having me here, bringing me and Noah to your studio. This means a lot to me, as I told you last segment.
It won't be the first one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward.
It won't be the last one. It's only the first one.
Exactly. And I'm looking forward to continuing this journey. That wraps up mine and DK's second sit down we've ever had. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Please, reminder, follow my boy, follow my IG, like my page, like his page. We got some really good stuff coming, so stay tuned. See you soon.